Hey y'all, how you doing today? Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and do an energy reading for today, and then I'm going to kick off something new in the next reading. Let's see what the energy is for the collective today. Collective energy. Collective messages for the collective, please. Collective energy. Okay, first card out is 14, communication. That equals a 5. 5s are change. Bottom of the deck is 38, remembrance, which equals an 11. Astrology. That was quick. Grand Shrine blessings. 46. Oh, sorry, I moved my camera, so. It's a 10. Let's see what the bottom is. Fire element, desire. 37. That's also a 10. 10, 10, 11, 5. I think I'm going to do this one next. This one is my new deck, numerology guidance cards. 2 cards, please. Guidance for the collective energies. 2 cards. 2 cards, please. Collective energy. How you guys doing with this Taurus energy? I've been feeling pretty good with it. Surrender and timeout. Okay, surrender is 91, which equals a 10. And timeout, 37, equals another 10. Guys, we have got completions going on here. Surrender and timeout. Stepping into a place this looks like stepping towards something new. You know, a 10 drops down. 10s are completion because the 1 is the, you know, where we step off into new energy. We take the leap. We do new things. We go after our desires and the things that we want. Bottom of the deck of this one, 22, intuition. 22 is a master number. Alright, we're going to get 3 cards guidance from the Soul's Journey. 3 cards, please, for the collective energy. 3 cards. So, completions, taking a time out probably, you know, just to process things that we've learned thus far. Might be giving a communication or receiving, you know, with that communication card. It is a 5, so maybe it's whatever communication you get or give, you might need to take a time out, you know, think about it before you communicate whatever it is you're thinking about. yourself a little bit of time to, remember those lessons. How do you want to handle this situation? Because we're all being really mindful right now. We're remembering the stuff that we've done, we've been through, how we've handled situations before, and how it turned out. Okay, first card out, self-esteem. I possess gifts of the soul that benefit me and others. I know these little guys are glossy, so it's kind of hard to see the reflection it has on there. Alright. Let's see. Let's see what benefit me and others. Definitely following our intuition right now. We're wanting to push for our desires, but with that Grand Trine blessings, if I can talk, that Grand Trine blessings up there, I think we're, I know I can feel something is changing, something is coming, something is definitely manifesting. And it's asking for us to surrender any, take a time out, any old things that you may be thinking about yourself, because with that self-esteem card, what story are you telling yourself? Do you believe in you? Do you believe in your manifestation powers? Second card out is love. I commit to the practice of seeing the good in all things. So, what are you telling yourself? Well, two of them popped out, so I'm going to go ahead and take the other one that came with it. Discipline and freedom. I can accomplish what I set my mind to, and I possess the power and the free will to create my own happiness. I don't know how I can... Hopefully you guys can see that. Just kind of set this guy right here. Sorry, bear with me, guys. On the bottom, denial. I acknowledge my fear, but I replace it with the insight of awareness. And the color on this card always reminds me of the Sun card. There is a lot of purple out here. A lot of purple. There is a lot of orange too. Reds, fire, fire card, this fire element coming out. Desires, intuition, surrender. So surrender to the understanding, that you are manifesting these things that you're wanting to create, and you are following your intuition, so don't second guess yourself. You know that you are creating some beautiful things, because the collective energy right now is, because we've gone through the heart chakra, because the last couple readings that I've done for collective energies, we're getting a lot of the heart chakra and a lot of the sacral, healing those aspects of ourselves. opening up to love again, coming out of that time out that we've been in. You know, kind of, a lot of us have been in that feeling like a stagnant energy because we had some things to work on, guys. Releasing fear, telling ourselves a new story, a true story about ourselves instead of living in the old story. You know, believing things that were happening to us and not for us. And now having that understanding that things, we manifest the things that are created in our lives. And if there's things that we need to work on, then those things, whatever we project outwards, will be projected right back to us. And I think some of us are in this space with the self-esteem card. We're having a little bit of fear that we're having to work through. You know, guys, we all have, we're human. We all have these things that when we look at ourselves, you know, we think that they're imperfections and things like this, but we understand that no one on this planet is perfect. In God's eyes, we are, yes. But when we look at ourselves, we look at those things and we're like, oh, but, you know, what about this? Or I don't feel comfortable with this about myself, you know. Those are the things that we are being asked to address right now, and to let go of them, to surrender those things. Excuse me. Because to be in a childlike state, I don't know if you guys have been experiencing this, but I've been experiencing with myself and with others, seeing that inner child in another person, or seeing it within myself, you know, having fun like you did when you were a kid, you know, acting silly and enjoying things that you did as a kid, you know, like looking at things with childlike wonder, you know, imagining the possibilities and having a very vivid imagination. Seeing the innocence in another, seeing it within yourself. And when we can look at ourselves that way and have that childlike wonder, if you remember when you were a kid, because I can look at my daughter, my 10-year-old, and she's at that stage where she hasn't gotten her adult teeth in yet. And they're starting to grow in. But she looks so adorable when she smiles, even though she doesn't have her teeth all the way in yet. But those of us that are adults that are dealing with issues concerning our teeth or our face or our skin or anything like that, you know, anything that we feel insecure about, if we can step into a childlike state, those things wouldn't bother us. Because I can tell you, you know, when I look at my 10-year-old daughter, it doesn't bother her. You know, she laughs and smiles and giggles and has a wonderful time. She doesn't let the fact that her teeth haven't come in yet, she doesn't let that keep her from smiling. She doesn't let that change her day. She doesn't let that affect the way she acts or reacts. And a lot of us have those insecurities, myself included. Because as we get older, things change, you know. We've been through a lot in our lifetime. We have, you know, a lot of us women, even some men, you know, stretch marks or scars or things like that, you know. Guys, we all have these things. But the insecurities that we have are our own. And the stories that were created when we were younger, we believe that those things defined us. what the story was that we were telling ourselves, defined. Oh, well, I'm this. Oh, well, I'm that. You know, the titles, the labels. And we really have to change that energy. Change the story. Step out of... And yes, we're adults, responsible, that stuff. But there has to be a balance, because we have to step into that childlike state to experience life in a way that we haven't experienced since we were probably very tiny. And it's hard for us to remember those times as children. But I know myself, I have experienced this, you know, over the past, I would say, week. I've started paying more attention to things that fascinate me. And it's things that as children we would have been fascinated with, but as adults we tend to not pay attention to those things. Like, for instance, you know, go outside and just take like 5 minutes and just listen. You know, I've gone out, I've walked from my car to my apartment, and multiple, I mean, I'm talking all kinds of different birds singing, and I listened to how they were singing, and everything, each bird was making a different sound, but it was going together like an orchestra. It was a song, you know. But if I hadn't paid attention, I wouldn't have noticed, you know. So it's just paying attention to the things that are around you, having that childlike wonder again when you did, you know, when you were younger. It's looking at things from a different perspective, an open heart. You know, when you're a kid, you don't have that protection because you're still in that innocent state of being open and accepting things, and being receptive to the things that are going on around you, and not distracted. And a lot of us adults are very, very distracted by things because, you know, we're busy. You know, we have, some of us have children. You know, just the everyday things that we have to do, and we get distracted by those things. But with this year, you know, with a lot of these 10s, you know, we're stepping into, well, and a lot of us have already, you know, completed a lot of this past cycle. We're stepping into a new cycle. We're taking a breather. You know, we are, you know, with these two cards here coming out together, discipline and freedom. That, to me, that says the balance. Because yes, we have to be disciplined, but we can still be free at the same time. You know, to me, this is balance. We are balancing the two. We're being disciplined, but we're still being free. You know. And releasing fear, using our intuition when we make decisions, but we're still having that passion and desire to go after the things that we want. And, you know, this card, anytime I do this spread, always has to do with, you know, subconscious. What is in your subconscious? And right now we're all in this subconscious state of love. Having the heart of a child. You know. Having love, true, authentic love of ourselves. Because in order for us to receive that kind of love from another, you have to feel it within yourself. You have to fill your own cup. So when you have that authentic love for yourself, you project that energy outwards, and in turn it is mirrored back to you. And we're all in that state right now. So I'm going to go ahead and read this communication and the Grand Trine card and see what extra insight this has for us. Number 14. Bear with me, guys. Allergies have been crazy and the wind's been blowing 90 miles an hour around here. Okay, communication. Communication is the process of sharing information between a sender and a recipient. For humans, this usually takes place through spoken and written words, gestures, behaviors, or touch. But it can also happen through the more subtle language like chemistry and energetics. Communication is at the core of all relations, whether interpersonal, between people, or the way in which our inner world and body talk to us. While words have predominantly been the way humankind has communicated for most of its modern history, the new energy invites us, even requires us, to develop our abilities to receive, translate, and share the messages that arise from the depths of us. Most of these messages will emerge as feelings and intuitive thought, and we might find that the words we have been using for so long hold far more complex and subtle energies than we ever imagined. And that leads to realizing more expanded and subtle meanings as well. The dolphins that swirl inside the 4 circles of this activation are representative of the mastery of relations. Let's see if you can see. Yeah, it's kind of hard to see it. I don't know if you guys will be able to see the swirls up there as the dolphins. Activation are representative of the mastery of relations. They support the awakening and developing of subtle communications while reminding us to keep a playful attitude as we learn these new skills, like I said, with the heart of a child. So, and then with that intuition card coming out, we're learning new ways of communicating. Meanwhile, the number 4 represents the form-based world in which we live. It is a reminder of the importance of applying all that we learn to the reality we collectively choose to create on this plane. The triangles in the middle represent the inner union and balance between the feminine and the masculine. The upward large triangle symbolizes the connection to Source, and the abundance blues indicate an open throat chakra, so clear and unrestricted that communication flows effortlessly. Green represents the presence of an open heart, allowing love and compassion to pour into the external without restrictions and boundaries. The turquoise represents the high heart, the place where the energies from the heart and those from the throat merge into the loving expression of truth. And the surrounding deep purple space represents the origin of clear, insightful perception through an open third eye. So basically everything that's on the board is what, this card just talked about. Because we have, the different chakras that we've been working on, that we've been opening, clearing the old blocks from those chakras, and being in an open heart space. So let's see. Grand Trine Blessings. Number 46. Let's see what this one says. 46. This one represents the Temperance card in the tarot. And this one isn't glossy, so you guys will be able to see it, but a grand trine is when 3 planets aspect each other at 120 degrees. This creates an equilateral triangle if you are to draw lines between the 3 planets. These planets will usually be in signs of the same element. A grand trine is considered to have an easy-flowing energy, either in the natal chart or by transit, and to be an incredibly lucky aspect. Trines, when only 2 planets aspect each other at 120 degrees, always inspire harmony in the skies, so there's a sense of wholeness and completion when a grand trine happens. Although grand trines do not always spell out easy fame or fortune, Those with one in their natal charts can be born into wealth, or at least momentously talented. The only downside with the Grand Trine is that those influenced by them tend to be lax or so contented that it leads to laziness and inertia. It is like a child who is given everything he wants and thus doesn't know the value of responsibility or appreciation. When the Grand Trine card presents itself in a spread, be assured you are entering a time of easy flow, or that at least many of the impediments you are experiencing are being lifted. This speaks of a period of harmony and ease that may inspire you to take the path of least resistance, but it is best that you keep your eye on the prize and not let go of your original purpose. Do not leave it on a shelf. There is a possibility that your success may be lost if you do. On the other hand, this is a time where you can expect yourself to be in the right place at the right time. What may seem like a lucky break stems from the wants and desires you have been consistent about. It isn't, however, time to coast. You must continue to give a little more effort in order to keep that wheel of fortune turning. Also, don't pass up any opportunity that may fly by. Not every one of them will be right for you, but a few will facilitate you coursing a flowing river of success. When it comes to love, the Grand Trine card turns up. Your existing relationship should improve. Your social popularity will increase, and if single, you're about to meet a person, or have already, who will be a true partner, not only supportive of you and your successes, but someone who will help advance you in your goals. It could indicate meeting up with your perfect mate, but this would only be as long as both of you are willing to nurture the relationship. If not, it will still be an overall good relationship, just a short-term one. This is an excellent time to apply for a loan, to ask for a raise, or to expand in terms of finance and career strategies. Whatever the subject of your question, your path is being cleared. There are a few road bumps, but the most important thing is to follow through on everything you start. There is harmony with this card, but things will not take care of themselves. Well, it does tie in very well with everything with the completions and, stepping into new things. It talks about if you haven't met anyone, you might possibly be meeting someone, but, with love and opening up all the chakras, cleaning, purging out, the things within ourselves that we know no longer serves our highest good. Being balanced, disciplined, but knowing we are free. Releasing this fear. Using our intuition. Stepping into that new passion, knowing that we're on the right path. That's what I have for you guys today. I hope you have a beautiful day, and I will see you guys soon. Bye.